Welcome back, everybody. Like we left off in the last video, um, today we're going to go through the 2024 trade deadline with the Nashville Stars. Uh, I think I left last video with saying that there was a possibility that we would be sellers. At this point, having the third best record, maybe fourth. We're right in the middle of it all. One of the best records in the American League. I think, despite our run differential, we're definitely getting a little bit lucky, and Houston's right on our heels. I think we're going to try and go for it. A little bit more difficult to do with an expansion team. Our highest rated prospect at this moment is second baseman on the current big league roster, Addison Barger, having a real good season. Don't think the fielding is fantastic. I mean, it's uh, it's doable. It's doable at second base, but the bat has been great. Um, I just I think we're gonna go for it. I would love to make the postseason with this group, despite some of our numbers. Nothing about the offense outside of our base running really, excites anyone. The pitching, the bullpen, certainly exciting. The defense, definitely exciting. I tend to look at zone rating a little bit more than the defensive efficiency. But yeah, I mean, look, this is a group that's been finding ways to win ball games. Um, but yeah, I mean, we've been getting a little bit lucky. So, in order to address some of our problems, one of our biggest holes this year was at the catcher position. Obviously, we had Blake Hunt previously on the roster. I had to send him down to AAA, where we have four catchers. We got to fix that. So these are his AAA numbers. Let's go find his major league numbers. So in 68 games, 225 plate appearances, he put up negative .4 WAR, a 48 WRC plus. Look, we didn't have him up for his bat. We knew that going into the season, but I mean, when you are supposed to be a pitch framer and you put up negative 1.5 framing runs over the course of 61 games, and you're putting up a 48 WRC plus, not trying to be an evil guy here, but it doesn't really matter to me that you're very unhappy you're in AAA when you're below a replacement level player. So I had to move him down, unfortunately. And Matt Thaiss right here, just not a major league quality catcher. And even the bat has been subpar. He's been worse than Hunt was in his short time. So we're going to try to potentially move him, actually, especially at the age of 29. Um, he'll be coming up on, he won't be arbitration eligible next year, but potentially the year after. Actually, he might be. But regardless, we're going to try and move on from him, especially after we just added, well, we called up Austin Hedges, and he's been great in the 9 games he's played in. But he wasn't going to be, obviously, with these, batting ratings, was not going to be the guy for us. He'd be a great backup, with that 70 ability. But we just acquired the number one catcher on the trade block, and that was Jose Trevino. 75 catcher ability, has not been great this year, but 10.9 framing runs, easily going to, some of this batted ball data should probably regress to the mean, meaning move towards a BABIP closer to 300. His BABIP's 219. So if he even, bumps that BABIP up to about 250, 260, we see this 184 batting average, start to creep up to where the OBP is currently at about 220. Um, he should be slugging a little bit more than that 65 ISO. I'd like to see that at about 100. So just hoping, it's a little bit of a bet. He's a leader. He's got high work ethic. Obviously unhappy with his performance, but great clubhouse guy, incredible pitch framer, likely the best in baseball. I believe Chicago retained 70% of his salary. Not that it, makes a massive difference, but for, an expansion team, having a budget like that, I think this is going to be a decent trade. Um, Gave up Edmundo Sosa, you know, didn't do much with us, kind of didn't really have a spot for him, wanted to play Barger a little bit more. Um, and then gave up definitely one of the few prospects in our system, uh, Leo Jimenez. How did we acquire? I believe we acquired him probably on a minor league deal, or no, we got him in the expansion draft. Okay, um, he could be a big league player. I mean, he is for Chicago. 23 years old. You start to see some talent change randomness with especially with the power. He gets that up to about 45, 50. I mean, that's a big league ball player right there, and pretty decent one with the glove. Um, nothing special to his game. So, if I'm just looking at this subjectively, I would rather get a guy like Trevino with a special pitch framing ability, and give up a guy with certainly some potential controllable asset, but nothing real special to his game. So that was the first domino to kind of fall in this trade deadline. We're going for it, and now I'm going to try and shop around Matt Thaiss. Did that a little bit earlier. Let's see. I mean, Edouard Julien. This is a guy who's going to get on base. Um, doesn't have a defensive home. To be honest, we might not need him to have a defensive home. Let's just double check the outfield ratings. Okay, so he won't grade out well anywhere, but he's going to walk about as much as anyone in baseball, not named Juan Soto. Um, the strikeout rate being a 40-45, that should put him at a true talent level strikeout rate of about, if the league average is about 22, 23%, that'll put him about 28. So that should regress positively. The home run power being a 55, not hitting up to his potential this year. So that maybe is due for some positive regression, as well as the batting average. The batting average, that should be around 270, 260, 270. So I kind of like this bat. Julian, I believe this would be considered his rookie year. And I'm curious why they would want to get rid of him. Just OSA. OSA thinks he's even better, which is pretty surprising. Don't love the fact that he's a ground ball hitter. That's not going to play well into that home run power, regardless of what the rating says. I don't know why so many guys are interested in Thaiss. I mean, obviously, some of these might just be 40-man depth. Malcolm Nunez, it's a quality bat, but not doing great in AAA. Penn Murphy, good reliever. Our bullpen's fine. That's we're trying to address other areas. Candelario, doubles machine. Ramon Laureano, hopefully better in this. I mean, he's in AAA, so no. I mean, I like Julian Yepes. Let's see what he's doing. 111, 246, 298, 466. Good ISO. Good home run power. Not a phenomenal locker room guy. Espinal, defensive versatility, probably outperforming his ratings right now with the bat. Burleson. I mean, that's a bat. That could be a guy. That's an all around bat right there. Scouts higher on him than OSA. 340 BABIP though, that'll probably regress. Trey Sweeney, interesting. Not great with New York right now. Biggio. I mean, I think I'm between Julian and let's just see if we could get some prospects. Because even though we're gonna make a push, I think it's just worth it to get Thaiss off our roster. Even though I know clearly some teams have some interest in him. Yeah, so it's just Sweeney, and let's just double check prospect package. If we could get a couple guys. Okay, so the Yankees like him. Betancourt is not going to do much for me. Sweeney's an interesting prospect. I think I'm going to go back to the single player regulars. Edouard Julien. Let's just double check our big league roster. It would certainly help maybe to platoon at the DH spot with Joe Adell or some of our other guys. Let's check up on what our lineup's looking like right now. So David VR just came back, and very solid year. Joe Adell, fortunately, I think he's out of options, so we're stuck with him on the big league club unless we think he'll make it through waivers. While I'm here, I might as well. Yeah, let's. Oh, okay, I see the problem. We got to trade Thaiss before. Okay. You know what? I might. Let's see. Horwitz. Okay, bat. I like Julian. And let's see. 60, 50. Let's see. Let's compare player to Julian. Hopefully that's no. Recently, Edouard. Where is my friend Edouard? I think I got to click on him quickly. Edouard. Okay. Compare. That'll come up with Burleson. Okay. Current. We're just looking current. 60, 55, 75 to 45. Okay. The potential 65, 60, 75, 65, 55, 45. Both. I mean, he's going to get on base. It's going to be probably better against righties too. Sacrifice bunt. Okay, but can we look at defense? Okay, something in the infield, nothing in the infield. Basically nothing in the outfield, something in the outfield, but barely. I am going Edouard. We're going to do that. I am curious as to why they would give him up for Thaiss. Maybe they just need catcher depth. Let's see if we could just get him to hold some salary too. Why not? Just squeeze out every possible edge we can. Okay, 95%. Sure. Thaiss, thank you for your service. We just acquired Edouard Julien. Guy I know Minnesota's excited about in real life. So now we have two guys. We have, look, I love Hedges, but I think. No, I mean, we got to leave Hedges on the roster. Who's got options? Rule 5, no. Wish he had options. Love the defense, but sorry, buddy. Adele, Hayes, leadoff hitter, one option year, but come on, we gotta keep him. Bruhan, actually kind of regressing for us. Yeah, we kind of could use a shortstop, to be honest. McMahon, no. VR. Yeah, we might have to use his option year. I don't love that, but we got Julian. No. This is tough. I mean, Willier's figuring it out. Let's see, Bruhan, out of option years. Defensive depth guy. All right. I mean, the pitching. All right. All right. Okay. So I think let's go to the check the waiver wire real quick. Nothing exciting. Tyrone Taylor could be, but we have so many outfielders. Peraza. No, he's not good in this. Okay. Trade block. Player trade. Trading block. Luke's. Vasquez. Josh Bell. What are we looking for? Kiner Falefa. Okay. 65 range. Not a great bat. Outperforming his hitting. How would he get to the White Sox? Minor league free agent signing. Okay, so the Yankees, yeah, they just let him go. Um, let's just look at his asking price. I mean, at least the defense will get better. Okay. I mean, look, I like Abreu, but we have so much outfield depth, and like, is he going to be a guy that 3 years from now, and I hope we're in a better spot prospect wise, we're going to want to keep? No, but let's see if we can get, dump anyone else. Um, Gomber, we could just trade Gomber for him straight. I mean, he's having a great. I didn't even realize that. All right, I mean, something to think about. It's depth, depth. I mean, they're willing to kind of just give him to us. But let's see if there's a guy like on the big league roster that we could kind of just dump. Um, yeah, I mean, if we're getting kind of Falefa, Ahmed, good with the glove, but just so terrible with the bat. Oh man, this is tough. Because in theory, Ahmed should be outperforming. No, Giles, Hunt, Larson. Who's Larson? No, I mean, look, really, do I want to be a stickler? You just don't want to get something like this egregiously wrong, especially with the talent change randomness. Guys that have higher ratings to begin with are, they just have a higher base to be able to change their talent from, if that makes any sense. Like, just the odds of them becoming a superstar from where they're at are going to be higher if their current talent level is already pretty solid. Like a 2020 type guy. Um, I'm talking overall potential. It could happen. It could happen where some of those guys become superstars, but it's much more likely for like a 40-45 guy to become a key contributor, to go from being a key contributor to being an all-star, or than it is for a 2020 guy to do that. So, and obviously age plays into this whole thing a little bit too. So that's something I'm trying to keep in mind. Gomber already being 30 is, even this guy Larson, good floor, and like, so, you know, right. So let's think about this, like, thought experiment for a little bit. He's 29 years old. Even if his talent was to change dramatically, and like he could play a decent left field, um, what does he have? 1, 2 good major league seasons in him if everything goes according to plan. So this is a guy I'd be, willing to give up for kind of Falefa, versus this guy like Mesa, who clearly has some room to grow. He's 21 years old, a lot more volatility, or just expected change for a guy like Mesa. So let's obviously can't give up Yastrzemski. That is my MVP right there. Let's see. All right, I just need to pull the trigger. Abreu, no, I can't give him up. Can't give him up. We're gonna go Gomber. or Larson. Gomber or Larson. I gotta go. Ooh, I'm going Larson. Okay. And let's see what they retain. Want them to take on as much as possible. They might take it all. Okay, there we go. And now we have. Let's just go to the next day. Playing. Believe we're playing the Angels. Okay. We lost 6-2. Clevenger. You know what I'm gonna do? Don't want to be making hostile decisions out here. I'm gonna move Morejon to starting rotation, and we are going to put him on a pitch count of 80. Or, yeah, let's go 80. And yeah, let's do that. Clevenger, long relief. That'll be fine for now. The stuff will play up in the bullpen. I think that's a place where he'll thrive a little bit more too. Charlie Barnes doing, he's going to come back down to earth. Walks higher than K's. So we kind of need to address the starting pitching a little bit too, but I'm hoping to kind of address that with the waiver wire. Jalen Beeks is always an interesting guy. I'm going to claim him. Just good stuff, good movement. The control will play up enough. 1.6 salary, it's doable. Wish it was major league minimum, but what are you going to do? Jeremiah Jackson, he was a good prospect once upon a time. Skinny dude with a lot of pop in real life. Just not great plate vision. But yeah, no, real life Jeremiah Jackson. Hope you figure out the plate skills, plate discipline, because that was an interesting bat a few years ago in the draft that I thought could make some noise. Blake Perkins, Milwaukee Brewer, real life. So Ahmed is ready to come back. Let's just rehab him just so. Okay, we got to get Trevino on the roster. That was stupid. I think we, as much as I don't want to do this, okay. I think we got to move one of these outfielders, and I think his name is going to be Jose Siri. And if we can't get a good return for him, I'll DFA him and just kind of pray he gets through into the minors. I'm hoping teams will look at his current big league stats and kind of be like, we'll pass on him for now. Harold Ramirez is a bat. That is intriguing, but Mitch Spence, actually the number one pick in the real 5 draft. I kind of like him. Is there any? Okay. Yeah, I would do that. I'm so curious why the Yankees like my guys. I'm curious about all the why these are good players. Like the trade logic doesn't seem. I'm just you know what we need pitching prospects. All right, just got to do this. Jose Siri, you are a Yankee. Mitch Spence, you are going to be one of the prospects. You might get called up, and you were already in New York, so. All right. 40 man, AAA, you're there, good leader. That should open up a spot for Julian. So we got that going. Edward Falefa, I'm trying, buddy. I need to figure some of this out. VR, I'm not sending him down. Trevino, Bruhan. If Bruhan had options, man, I'd just send him down right now. Get Falefa in there. You know what? I'm going to do something a little dicey. He hasn't been amazing with us, so DFA Bruhan. Sorry, buddy. What are your fielding stats? Yeah, no. -6. Due to be one of the worst shortstops in the league. Lineups, organization. Let's get Falefa. Falefa, you are our shortstop. Thank you very much. Okay. Lineups. Let's get Isaiah right there. And Isaiah right there. And Trevino. Okay. And let's just generate depth charts. Okay, yeah, we need Eddie playing first. And I'm good with that. Do I want Eddie DHing or Joe? Joe DH. You know, Eddie's young. Like, we're going to have to platoon this thing to death. Pitching. You know, let's sim another day. We got a couple more. Big win against the Angels. Hoping we can kind of just continue to win. Let's get our 60th. All right. Okay. You know what? As sad as that is, that might actually help us a little bit. 60 damn means essentially out for the season. Willier, thank you for your service. We get to keep you as you are a Rule 5 pick, and a little bit of that roster manipulation I was talking about earlier. But yeah, now we can go back to AAA. Look at who's been tearing it up. Hopefully in a bigger sample. Blankenhorn. Interesting. Not the worst I've seen. Devin Mann, do you want to come back? I mean, Ahmed. I'm going to hold off for right now. Okay, 29th. Let's get this win versus Miami. Got to get the 60th. Okay, there we go. 60 wins. Okay, Jalen Beeks. Interesting guy here. Open for some TCR with him. If we want to send down Clev, Diaz, no. Charlie Barnes, Ashby. Okay. I want to wait for Morahone to make his first start. Okay. We got Miami again. 3-2. All right. I'm going to come back. I'll do a short few minutes here, just doing trade deadline day. I think, this is as much as I think I want to do, although I'm going to look at some trades off camera. I don't want to take advantage of some of this trade logic. Like, I probably shouldn't have gotten a guy like Mitch Spence, who is clearly a coveted prospect. Like, those ratings should not be just willy-nilly being able to trade for a guy with a 28 WRC plus, although good first game in New York. 28 games with us, right? I mean, 2 at-bats a game averaging, but already hits a bomb with the Yanks. So maybe he just didn't like playing for us. Maybe he did not like playing for, manager. I guess I am the manager as well. Whoops. Yeah, I really should hire a manager next year. But I mean, if we're playing this well, I think we're gonna be fine. But yeah, anyway, let me look at a few trades off camera. I'll come back, finish this video, and we'll get into the postseason push. All right, everyone, we're We're back at the trade deadline. I think it's just about gonna do it for the Nashville Stars. As you can see down here, we made a couple more moves. It's very difficult to try and make acquisitions when we don't have a prospect base yet. Um, especially when we're in the position where we are going to be buyers. There's really not much to buy. I mean, so we acquired Marcus Stroman. Um, the ratings in this game would not suggest he's anywhere near worth 21 million. Luckily, his whole salary is getting paid for. Thank you, Chicago and San Fran. But the fit minus is still promising. Much better K to walk ratio than our friend here, Charlie Barnes. Put up a few good outings for us, but when you have a 0K minus BB percentage, it's likely that those numbers aren't going to hold. So happy to get a reliable starter in the rotation, even if he starts to drop off some. We're not expecting him to be the savior. And then also, for whatever reason, St. Louis was looking to dump both Burleson and another player I'm forgetting at the moment. But I mean, that's a big league bat right there. Doesn't have a defensive home, so I mean, he's a bat. But to get a guy this young, this controllable, who's going to be a major league hitter, uh, yeah, I'd give up whatever I needed to do to get that. And fortunately, it was just our Rule 5 pick, uh, Michel Otanez. I know I pronounced his name 7 different times before, but I did look it up. So thank you, Mr. Otanez. Um, didn't have a great year with us. Hoping he can find success with St. Louis. So those were the two additional moves outside of Trevino, um, and getting Mitch Spence, who I think is our best pitching prospect in the organization. Probably will be in the rotation next year. Um, but yeah, then getting Falefa and Edward. So that's gonna about do it for the trade deadline. I'm trying to see if there's any other. So Miggy Vargas, who with these rated, you know what? Let's just see. Because if he just went for that little, and he has those ratings, I mean that's a crazy bet. Let's see. No, yeah, I don't understand this trade. Yeah, why would the Dodgers do that? That's confusing to me. All right, let's see. Let's see what else. Miami traded Sandy Alcantara, who has regressed pretty mightily, um, to the Texas Rangers for a prospect package, including Emmett Olson, okay, decent lefty arm, Brock Porter. This was the guy taken in the fourth round by Texas. Essentially, they drafted Kumar Rocker with their first pick to be able to save money to get this guy. So, good get for Miami. And then Aiden Curry. There we go. Alrighty. Eddie Gaitan. Jackson Hall. Okay, this is a ridiculous trade. Shane Baz as a reliever for the number one prospect. I mean, not in this. Actually, okay. I have to kind of remove myself. So clearly, Jackson Holiday regressed a little bit. Libertor. Okay. You have to remove yourself from the personal attachments and acting like you know what these players are in real life. certainly this is a year into the future. They're going to have different, you know, pretty accurate but slightly different skill sets and slightly different development paths. Um, and you just have to be aware of that. Um, so, yeah, Jackson Holiday, decent prospect, not the number one guy like we're looking at in real life. Rasmussen is a twin. Um, Simeon Woods Richardson, interesting. Okay, I mean, not a ridiculous debt outside of that Shane Baz trade, which now doesn't look at like as much as what it had been prior. But yeah, I think that's gonna about do it on the trade deadline. I'm just gonna come in here, make sure. Yeah, I looked at these two trades and not not interested. I think Hunt will be a valuable catcher. Might just need to get his feet underneath him in AAA for a little bit. And we have the best pitch framer in the game now. So pitching wise, this is what we're going in with down the stretch. Frankie Montes has been performing, at least for us, like an ace. I very pleased with him. Aaron Ashby started to figure it out. A crazy separation between the WAR and our WAR. Just getting real unlucky with the ERA, but should regress to the mean a little bit. So Ashby's our number two. Morahone, we're going to try him out as a starter. Luckily we have some guys that can bounce back and forth. So if guys aren't getting the job done in the rotation, put them in the pen, try somebody else out. If needed down the stretch, we might go to more of an opener follower type situation. But we'll see when we get there. Baez, I don't care about the 35 overall. That stuff and that movement is good enough. The stamina is good enough. We'll see what he can do. Hey, two decent starts for us. So we'll see. And then Stroman, guy who can eat some innings. Been there, done that. So we will see. And then the bullpen is nails. Brian Abreu's been one of the best relievers in the game. Super underrated in real life, actually. Just a quick shout out to him with Houston. Yeah, I think it's, I full disclosure, I am a New York Yankees fan, so anything I do to support the Houston Astros, I grimace a little bit, but I don't believe Abreu should have been suspended for hitting Garcia in the yeah, in the ALCS. Excuse me. It was just clear he wasn't. That wasn't a time or place to do that, and him being one of the most underrated relievers in baseball the past two seasons. I just felt that was undeserved. But yeah, the bullpen looks good, and we're gonna hit the end of the trade deadline. Yeah, I don't see another. I mean, okay, we got offered. No. Davenport. No, for Severino, who started to figure it out. Yeah, no, I'm not doing that. So yeah, let's get back to our lineups. Um, I will have Adams do this, and then okay, he really changed stuff up. I mean, we're gonna fix this. So Hayes, I'll have Batten lead off. Maybe I want Yastrzemski in the two hole. Oh boy, we're pretty lefty dominant now. Okay. Huh. Burleson, Barger, Bader. Let's do this. McMahon's been playing well already. You know what? I'm okay with that for now. Okay. And then versus lefties, we're definitely having Hayes bat lead off. Probably put VR. Sure. Um, Actually, let's put VR in the 2 hole. Barger. Let's go Adele. Yeah. And then we got Hedges as the backup catcher. Severino as kind of a utility infielder type who, has something with the bat. Um, and yeah, we'll go if starter tired. If starter tired, Severino will be in the mix. Eddie Julian is not hitting against lefties. Burleson will be just a big league bat, like we talked about. And yeah, I mean, look, Yastrzemski not going to keep this, if he's down to like a 140 WRC plus, like just a, risky trade for us, but I think it paid off. Not risky in the sense that gave up anything significant, but just to take on that salary with 1 year left on the contract and kind of just plugging up a guy who isn't optionable up and down. But clearly it paid off. The Bader signing, that was probably our riskiest signing so far. So good. The outfield range, I think, has dropped a little, which a little concerning. But he's on pace for 4 WAR. That alone will make up about 32 million of the contract. Out of the was only five. Okay, so I mean, this year alone could make this contract worth it. And clearly, we are in contention. We'll go to the standings real quick. So I figured out the playoff format that I wanted. It was initially forcing me to go with 4 wildcard teams as there were 4 divisions. I wasn't going to do that, so we're back just to the we're 4 division winners, 2 wildcard teams. That way, the Cubs, I think, in the previous rendition were in the playoffs, which is ridiculous. Baseball, there's a reason it's 162 games. You want the high quality talent getting into the postseason, and then obviously once you get there, in my personal opinion, it's all about having enough. I would say tools or weapons to be able to employ. The guys whose stuff is going to play up a tick or two. Having dynamic a dynamic roster, where you could pinch hit certain guys who have great matchups. So you have to construct a team to get there, and then you also, I think, have to load up on the weapons to be able to employ them strategically in the postseason. Definitely more volatile once you get into the postseason, just because of the few number of games you actually have to win. But I don't subscribe to the notion that you can't build a roster for the postseason. I think you can. It's just more difficult, especially when you have to keep in mind that you have an 162 game regular season to get through, and you need to be above average in those performances as well. So trade deadline has passed. We are officially in the home stretch. It's going to be a tight one. We're only one game. We're half a game up on Houston, and if we were to slip into the wild card, we'd be 2.5 games up on Baltimore right now, and I believe Baltimore has an 85 run differential. We have a 16. So, look, we got to outperform. We got to do better than what we've already done from a performance standpoint, and because we can't rely on luck. So praying that some of those moves at least pushed us enough that we're going to be able to, get to 90 wins. We got 29 more games to win. It'll be a tight race. So yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Next week we'll get into the uh, the postseason stretch in September, and hopefully we'll still be in it. But if not, we might have to shift our views towards the off season, building up a stronger, younger prospect base that we could really begin to flourish in the coming years. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Appreciate anyone who even tunes in for 30 seconds. So if there's anything that you'd like to see or like me to change, or certain questions as regarding roster construction, anything like that, feel free to leave a comment. And yeah, see you next week.